Hello. Happy
Welcome.
Thursday. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this hits you over the head on your Thursday. Every
Yeah,
artist needs and deserves rest. That is where we're starting.
and it
That,
could be this retreat, but it could be something you do for yourself today, like eat a
yes.
cookie alone in silence. I think I'm
Yes.
gonna do that.
Yes, but we wanted to start with this slide because that is kind of the philosophy of these artist retreats is a time set apart. And so if you landed in the wrong Zoom, today we are talking about the artist retreat that we're hosting for our community for female identifying and non-binary artists. And it's happening this summer in the hills of North Carolina. So we're going to dive in and talk about the retreat and kind of walk you through the details. And then there'll be a time at the end for asking questions. It's so beautiful. This is an image from last year's retreat. We're actually using the same location as last year's Artist Mother retreat, which I hosted, which makes the whole process really great because we're comfortable with the area. We know what to expect. And we kind of know how to make it work for our needs. So it's in Black Mountain, North Carolina, which is about 25 minutes east, I think, of Asheville. Yes, it's east, pretty sure.
So we are really excited to offer this experience. It's a place to remove yourself from the juggle of life, to kind of go off into this different environment and have a different experience for the weekend that outside of your normal life. And it's really about investing in yourself. It's this new environment. It's making great connections. I've heard from Kaylin that artist mothers from last year have even, kept meeting up. And really it's this special time that I think that creates bonding quite quickly. And again, it's against this grind culture of we're always doing something. So we of course want to provide you with programming, and we'll share what we're going to do. We have amazing workshops and leaders, but it is about play, and it is about trying different materials than you're used to. So you're not coming to do this full workshop and going to leave with a new piece of art. We want you to leave with ideas and inspiration and connections and feeling rested.
And this is an image from the retreat. These are actually some of the lodge rooms, and like one of the meeting rooms where we'll be doing some of the workshops is kind of right off the corner here under these stone pillars. So it's a really beautiful space. And it's not a luxury retreat, but it's also not rustic. It's kind of somewhere in between. So we'll talk a little bit more about the location. You can see it's in the mountains, which is really inspiring. There are literally hiking trails right off the retreat center. You can hike straight up. That was a hike I did last year. It was kind of crazy. But then it opened up to this gorgeous vista. There are other kind of more major hikes in the area that you can drive to, just a short drive away. But I think the property says there's 9 hiking trails, like kind of right off the property. So
And you could be someone like me that just watches other people go on hikes from
yes,
the retreat lodge.
sorry,
So
it's not a hiking retreat. It's just
you can do that with me on the porch sitting. So it's up to you.
yes. So the style of the retreat is something that I think is really important, and something that we put a lot of thought into is kind of what is the mood, what is the feeling of this retreat. Jamie kind of touched on this already, but we're really going for a very relaxed and casual atmosphere. People are gonna be wearing yoga pants or jeans and a t-shirt, like just kind of showing up as we are, kind of the studio artists, the creative people as we are. It is a mixture of activities, of rest, of some low key, low stakes art making and connection. Like Jamie talked about, there's gonna, really the purpose of the workshops is to not walk away with this brand new award-winning piece of art, but just to get you playing, to get you inspired, to get you exposed to maybe some different materials that you don't normally get to work with. Black Mountain is this really cute little mountain town, and there's a bunch of restaurants and bars and shops right in the area near where the retreat is. So that part of it is fun too. It already is kind of this touristy place that people want to go. And so it's set up for that retreat visitor type experience. And then, of course, we're gathering as artists who maybe know each other online, or artists that we've met through, podcasts or different things. Maybe you're a Thrive Together Network member, or maybe you're not, but you're, a woman artist in our area, kind of in our circle. And this is about getting to like deepen those connections. You're going to feel so seen when you walk in this room. Like everybody knows everybody already. It feels really good. It feels very comfortable. And then of course, this retreat is also just about carving out space for yourself. Like, when do you go somewhere where the meals are planned? Like, you just have to show up and your bed is ready for you. Like, it's all there, and you're not grabbing all the kids' snacks and doing this or that. It's really about this carving time out for yourself.
So this retreat, you can be a Thrive Together member. Maybe you're someone that is highly active and comes to Art and Teas, but you also could be someone that's just heard about us for the first time that wants a retreat. Also, if you're a member that wants to invite a friend, we're welcoming any female identifying non-binary artists for our time together. And it's basically, it doesn't matter where you're at in your career. This is just space and time to relax and connect. So Kaylin mentioned that, people feel like they know each other beforehand. And a lot of that is built because of, Instagram and all that stuff. But we'll talk about this a bit more, but we are going to set up on the webpage a little directory of everyone that's coming. So before you actually show up to the retreat, you'll have an opportunity to have checked out each other's work and kind of know that whole group, because I really like that kind of stuff going into an experience. So we want to make sure there's a real connectivity even before you actually are there.
The workshops. So the workshops are definitely some of the most exciting parts of the retreat experience. And we have really curated a collection of amazing people we know and trust. These are folks who are Crit Crew mentor leaders and people I've had on the Artist Mother podcast, and just like kind of longtime friends. So these are folks who we know are going to do an amazing job, and some of them are here today. So real quick, I'll introduce the workshops, and then we have a slide that talks a little bit more about what each one is going to be. So our first workshop is with Kelly Shepard Murray, and this is a paper and encaustic exploration to nurture playfulness. So Kelly's going to be showing us paper sculpture and encaustic. And then Lauren Salazar, her work is this incredible painting, weaving right here. She's going to be talking to us about sculpting a painting. So kind of how to add 3D elements into a frame. Sarah Irvin is an incredible writing artist and mentor, and she is going to be doing a workshop called The Writing Artist from Manifestos to Art Criticism. And then Heather Bird Harris is going to be doing a workshop called Connecting with Your Community, Social Newsletter, and Activism. And these are the amazing people who you're going to get to spend time with, get to know their faces, get to know them. Kelly, you're here. I was wondering if you want to actually just for a minute, tell us about your workshop. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but
no worries. I'm happy to say something. So this really aligns with what I'm doing right now with a 100-day project. And it's kind of a new-ish to me in terms of like building my work, but it's also one that I think really sparks a lot of ideas and could translate into other mediums and other forms. And I like the paper because it really lends itself to a playfulness. And I have a few specific techniques, but then a lot of times people are interested in encaustic, and there's a lot of kind of startup, and it kind of might give you a sense of like, oh yeah, I want to pursue this more, or maybe it's not, but that way you can kind of have a little dip toe dipped into it before you make that commitment, because there is a little bit of a setup for doing encaustic. So we will get to play with the wax, both color and the medium, and see how that feels on this thin paper.
Awesome. Yeah. So the basic idea is that we're going to be building paper sculptures, and then Kelly's going to have encaustic wax stations set up, and we'll be able to play with dipping those sculptures in wax and kind of seeing what techniques form. So thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh, I went back, not forward. Jamie, do you want to take the next one and introduce? I think Lauren's here. Maybe she'll.
Yeah, I don't have to do any work. Lauren's here. Lauren.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, happy to be here and really excited to teach one of these workshops at the retreat this summer. I'm going to be leading a workshop in which we're going to think about the components of painting in terms of frame and hue and canvas, and we're going to approach those as subject matter. So we're going to get a prefabricated, canvas frame from Hobby Lobby and take the canvas off, and we're going to look at the empty frame and try to decide how we're going to work this as subject, with nails and thread and textiles acting as canvas, and we're going to see how crazy you can make them.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And this is like the kind of workshop that, this is similar to my own work, but let me tell you, the experience of being in a room with 40 women artists and getting to play, and even if it's materials that you're already really familiar with, it's just so exciting. It's like at the last retreat, somebody was like, I feel like I'm in art school again. Like we're all just sitting here, like sharing ideas and like looking over at what each other's doing. So that is like one of the best parts. It's not so much that it's new materials, but just that it's a new way of thinking and being in the moment with other artists is like the most inspiring part.
Yeah, making with each other is a totally different experience than trying to figure it all out on your own by yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah.
I don't think Sarah is here. So Jamie, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this because writing has always been something that I've left it to the last for most of my work, but it's something I'm trying to integrate more. And Sarah's been really inspiring because she is so well spoken and so well written. She works a lot with us, and so we kind of pitched her this idea. Would you be willing to do a writing workshop? And it's really interesting. She's going to walk us through sort of different forms of writing and sort of like the reasons why we put pen to paper, which I think for me, I've been a little stuck on like, oh, I have to write an artist statement. Whereas talking to Sarah about writing, it's very different. It's very inspiring, and kind of how you can speak about your practice and who you are through writing. And it doesn't have to be in this sort of like just formal way. So yeah, she's going to really walk us through this, and we'll have time for writing. And, that's a great thing to have, because especially with online workshops, I find I fit them in, and then you have to find time to do things. Whereas you're going to be at this place. If you get really inspired with writing, you can continue writing. So we're excited about that.
And one of the things that I'm the most excited about with this workshop is Sarah's actually going to pull kind of examples of art writing from art history and talk about how they were influential to the artists. So like, you might see this review that was written about so-and-so's work, and it's kind of like, how did that influence their work? Which I think that is only going to add to this idea of like, writing is really important to our careers, and how can we kind of, flesh that out and become better writers. You want to take this one, Jamie?
Yeah, Heather Harris, we're really excited to have her. So she is such an active artist. I love I follow her on Instagram, and so she is just really going to share with us about connecting with your community. And I think, for Kaylin and I, we've literally made an artist community. It's part of what we do, so it's quite an obvious thing. But I do think when I think of my own art practice and how do we form community with what we do. Again, this comes to kind of our there's things I believe in, but how do we say them? So she's going to kind of walk us through about these building relationships, not only with collectors, but then how do we share, you know, this voice and social and newsletter and with our activism, because we all stand for things in our art, and sometimes it's hard to really articulate what those are. So I think these are really nice hand in hand pieces. So I'm really excited.
Yes, great way to put it. Okay, so a couple more things that we'll throw at you that are happening besides the workshops. Jamie is going to be leading us in a pen and ink demo. If you don't know, Jamie's work is very characterized by an illustrative style of using pen and ink, which is exciting. And so
I will say you do not need to draw a flower for this. I'm just going to show you different ways to play with ink, and there will even be straws involved and like toothbrushes involved, but just different ways that you can use ink and play with it. So don't be afraid because you don't want to draw a flower. You're okay. I got you.
Another thing that we're going to be doing is each evening we'll be having basically an art supply happy hour. So one of those will be the pen and ink, and then, you know, one will just be, there's a bunch of materials, let's just play, have some cocktails, have some chocolate, and, you know, play with art materials, kind of like a happy hour, getting to connect, but also getting to play and experiment, which will be fun. Jamie and I will definitely be providing you with a little bit of reflection and some prompts for just thinking about your retreat, thinking about your life. One of the great things about retreats is that they offer often this pause in our everyday, and, you know, a good spot to kind of think through what's happening next. How do I want to move into the next season? So we'll be guiding you through some exercises like that, and we'll definitely be sharing some things with the community of artists who's there. There's going to be lots of rest and downtime, optional hiking and walking access, porch sitting also included. And then there is, as I mentioned, the town of Black Mountain is super close. So there is, you know, shopping, eating out, kind of walking around this little town is also part of the retreat experience.
And for the meals, so breakfast and lunch, we have sort of a cafeteria style. It'll all be provided for you right on site. And you can get vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free options as well. There will be snacks and drinks available. You also are welcome to bring stuff that you love and want to have on hand. So we're allowed to bring in our own food, and if you wanted to bring in some wine and things, that is totally fine. And then our dinners are going to be out, which is really fun because this town just sounds so cute. And so we can, you know, go as a big group, people can split off. We want this to be flexible so that you get the kind of break that you need, whether that's being really social or you just need, you know, to go off on your own, which we understand.
So the sleeping arrangements, you will share a room with one other artist. But the rooms have their own, or each room has 2 queen beds. So you'll be in your own bed, but you will have a buddy or a roommate. There are a couple rooms that have handicap accommodations. So if that is something that you need, or you have a friend that you want to bring that may need access to that, just, you know, reach out to us directly to make sure we have, you know, not already booked those rooms. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, this is not like a luxury retreat, but it's by no means rustic. You know, you can kind of think simple motel style rooms. Each room has a private bath in the room that you'll share with your roommate. And we will accommodate, you know, your requests if you want to have a roommate and sleep with somebody, or, you know, you'll just be paired up with a new buddy. And that is also a super fun experience, is getting to know a roommate.
And so travel. So for me, I'm flying into North Carolina, first time ever, very excited. So you want to fly into the Asheville airport. It's 25 minutes away, and we can, closer to the time, once we find out people's travel, we can kind of try to pair people to share an Uber to come up or a taxi, just to like make things cheaper and better. So, but it is really easy. It's 25 minutes to get there. And we are gonna, we wanna, once we know everyone's plans, we're gonna try to make it as easy for everyone as possible. And then there should be enough cars with people to get into town to get anything like that. And if not, again, like Ubers and all of that are really easy. So the travel wise, it's easy. You just got to get yourself to Asheville. So
Yep, pretty much. And as Jamie said, about at least half the people who are coming are going to have a car. And so people will be going into the grocery store, that kind of thing. So all of that, will help arrange and help connect you with, the right folks. Okay, so we're going to walk you through the retreat schedule real quickly before we do a Q&A time. On Friday, this is just our check-in day. Check-in will start at 5:30. This is kind of a casual come in whenever you can, and get in your room, get settled. We will have a welcome circle at 7 p.m. That's kind of when the official retreat programming will start. And this is really important to be at. So if possible, when you're thinking of looking at flight options, I think it's better to come early than, to have a flight that lands at 6:30. And then you may or may not miss the welcome circle, because this is kind of when you're gonna, we're gonna go around and everybody's gonna introduce themselves, and you'll have that sort of full retreat experience of meeting people for the first time. That will happen starting at 7 o'clock, and we'll have some refreshments available for that.
Also, if you're flying in and maybe your flight, you have to get there early, you just let us know and we can help you, either pair you up with someone else who's in town or give you suggestions of what to do. So you're not going to just be wandering around until 5:30. We can help you, especially when you're flying in. So,
but also Asheville is a great town to have a day in. There's museums, restaurants. I'm hoping to have at least a day on the front end or back end of my trip to enjoy Asheville. So Saturday and Sunday are kind of the two full retreat days. Breakfast will be casual. As Jamie mentioned before, it'll be set up in our cafeteria that is on site, and it'll kind of be a come and go type thing. There is a big porch where you're welcome to bring your yoga mat, maybe set up and do some stretching. You might see some other artists out there doing that. Our first official start time for our workshop with Kelly will be at 9:30, and that'll kind of take us through the morning. And then we'll have lunch again at the dining hall, and you can come and grab a sandwich and go on a walk. You can go lay down and take a nap. It'll kind of just be set out for that time frame, but you're welcome. It's not like you have to be sitting in the dining room chair from 12 to 12:45. It's a come and go type thing. And then we'll have that workshop with Sarah about writing. And then the afternoon is yours. Basically, you're going to make some new friends. You're going to split off. Some of you are going to want to go nap and sketchbook. Some of you are going to want to go take a hike. This is why we actually incorporated dinner on your own into the schedule, because what naturally happened last year, we had the cafeteria style dinner, but at least half the people didn't end up staying and utilizing the dinner option because the town is right there. Everybody kind of wanted to go out for a drink, pop down, go get some shopping in, just walk around with your friends. And people ended up eating dinner out. So we just wanted to leave that whole time free for you to do whatever you want in that area. And then we will come back in the evening to facilitate those kind of art supply happy hours. The first one on Saturday being the pen and ink one that Jamie's going to lead. And then who knows where the night will take us. We might be up till midnight playing silly charades, or we might be heading to bed at 9:30, whatever we want to do.
So it's our night. It's Saturday night in the mountains.
Your way. Yes.
Yeah. So Sunday, very similar. Again, that open time for breakfast. And then we're going to do Lauren's workshop. So I just love this play and art making in the morning. Again, it's looking at this schedule, I'm imagine I could do this every weekend. My life would be better. And then we have lunch, and then we're going to go into our workshop with Heather Bird Harris. So again, kind of go into that reflection, thinking, writing time. And then it's very similar. We have that from 3 o'clock on. You can kind of do the thing you want, you didn't get to do the day before, and then dinner on your own. And then we meet up again for art supply happy hour, and we're just gonna hang out and make some work or eat some snacks, drink some wine. So very, very casual.
And then Monday morning, we'll have breakfast provided for you again. We will do similar to that welcome circle that I mentioned on Friday night. We will do kind of a closing ceremony where we all share a little bit of reflection, kind of talk about what's next for us, maybe sharing a goal. That time is also really meaningful, but we definitely understand that like flights are not going to be perfect. So, it often happens that somebody has to leave early, so they kind of say their goodbyes the night before, that kind of thing. But the retreat will officially sort of close down at 11 a.m. and we'll get you on your way back home, or maybe you will have to push you out the door because you won't want to leave. We'll see. It's probably
See what you have to do with me. You'll never get me back to Canada. So we're really excited about this time together, and we really see this as a time to, connect, be in person. I know for me, all my artist relationships in the last 3 years have been on Zoom and online, and I'm really grateful for that. But there's nothing really like this, in time together. So I'm really looking forward to that. Whenever artists get together and any shop talk is had, I learn so much. So, you might, wherever you're at in your practice, you're going to learn something from this. You're going to have a jumping point to go forward. The resource is really each other in this. And you're going to have a diverse group of artists. Like even these workshops, both workshops are so different than my practice that I am so excited. I would never use wax. I would never take the canvas out of the frame. Lauren, you're going to push me. So it's already, such a different thing than what we're used to. And then, we're just planting seeds for future growth, long-lasting relationship, future shows, future connections, more people in your network. And that's important.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so the logistics, how do you actually sign up? We've actually had some signups already this morning, even before the retreat info session, which is super exciting. So we are offering an early bird ticket window. We have not done that in the past, but just wanted to kind of honor those early signups and folks who, have been a part of our community and know they want to go. So you have until April 10th to get the early bird ticket price, which is $9.95. And then we have a select number of scholarship pricing available for women of color, for single parents, for chronically ill or disabled folks, for members of the LGBTQIA+ community. And for those who, financially, the price of the ticket is still a stretch. And, we've kind of set a threshold at around 500K combined income. And then if we haven't sold our tickets, and we open general admission, the price will go to $1,195. So you can actually sign up on our website right now, thrivetogethernetwork.com/retreat. Jamie, you want to talk about our reimbursement policy?
Yeah, so what we're doing things in 2 payments. We just felt like that would be helpful for people. So when you're booking your spot on the shop, you're paying half of the fee. So that is what's due right now, depending on what ticket price, but it's about $500, $500. And then that we will email you May 2nd, and that will be that second payment. So that's a month before we actually get together. So you kind of have that month window to get that second payment organized. So just because all of this planning happens no matter what, if that first payment you make is non-refundable. So if you decide you want to book that spot, then that first payment, but we won't, if you're not going to be able to come, you could also, if you found someone who wanted your spot and you want to transfer the ticket over to them, we're happy to do that. We really, we want to make it as easy as possible. We're just trying to kind of protect ourselves and make sure that we have the spots filled. So any ticket you buy, you're paying it into payments. So you have either the scholarship or early bird is available right now, and that's available till April 10th. And then it will go to this general admission price, and you'll still have that scholarship option. So question is to ask about more about the scholarship. Yeah, we wanted to also let you know that the scholarship is totally an honor system. We want you to be there. And if money is a part of something that's hindering that, you just go in and you buy that scholarship ticket. So we kind of have a list of things that we recognize as, items that if you have going on in your life, then we want to support you, but we also want it to be there for you. So we don't ask you questions. We don't need to know anything other you can tell us, but you just go in and buy that. And there's 8 scholarship spots available. So we kind of budgeted ourselves to make sure that we left that for people. Yeah. Any other questions like that? You can put them in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute and ask.
The income threshold is around 50K, like that's just kind of our suggested idea for, our scholarship rate. We're, again, as Jamie said, it's an honor system. So basically, if you feel financially that the scholarship price would help you out, go for it. But, do understand that there are lots of artists in our community who are at probably similar or lower income thresholds than you. And so, just be mindful of that. And we're not gonna ask for your tax bracket receipt or anything. But yeah, we just think it's a way to make it more accessible for folks. But we also don't want to hold your hand through it. We trust you.
And we were trying with early bird to also kind of say thank you to people that right away help us know our numbers and are just committed to it. So we really tried to make that so you save $200 by making that decision and getting signed up before April 10th. So we hope that is a good amount.
And that goes also for the other categories in the scholarship. Like if you're a single parent, like maybe you're not technically divorced yet, but you're growing through a divorce. Like you guys don't have to ask us those questions. Just for you, if you identify with those categories in the scholarship, and if you want the scholarship ticket, just purchase that. Okay.
And we are very excited and we want you to be there. So,
and there will not be like a sticker on your head like I bought the scholarship ticket. It's just we
will never remember. And yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, so okay, good. Elizabeth wrote, I'm excited about coming to Nashville a day early. I'm like, no, it's Asheville. And I had to learn that, Elizabeth, because I'm learning US geography and I thought Nashville, but no, we're going to Asheville, guys. We're going to Asheville.
Well, to that point, maybe Kelly could answer this because I'm trying to remember from last year, but I actually think that Asheville Airport, like it is definitely your best option, but there were some people I think who flew into Charlotte last year. Would that be kind of the biggest metro airport closest, Lauren and Kelly? And then I think like people shared a car from Charlotte and drove and then, dropped their car back off at the airport. So like that is another way to organize. You could, just pull up a map and see what are the biggest airports. I think Asheville is more convenient and then you don't have to rent a car, but that is an option. Is it Charlotte would be the next closest major airport?
Yeah, it would. Raleigh might be cheap for some people, but it's still a little bit of a haul from Raleigh. So Charlotte's definitely, probably going to be the best one for anybody that wants one of the major hubs. And Charlotte's a pretty major hub.
How far away-ish? Like, is it an hour away, 2 hours, 2 hours away? Okay. Just,
Lauren.
you're muted, Lauren.
Yeah, like 2.5 hours away.
Okay.
It's a pretty short drive.
Okay. And then how far away is Nashville from Nashville?
Like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And another, like somebody last year, actually, there was a very large group of folks who came from Atlanta. There was like 7 artists who came from Atlanta who were carpooling. And I think somebody caught wind of that and got their flight back out of Atlanta. I think they flew into Asheville, but then they like rode home because Atlanta was also within driving distance, and that, you know, that's a huge airport. So again, basically what we do when you when you buy your ticket, you can let us know kind of what you're thinking about, but when we get closer to the time, about a month out, we will send a survey where you are going to put your travel details, and we're going to share that information with everybody. So everybody can kind of see like, oh, Kelly's driving in on Friday afternoon from Charlotte. Maybe I'll try to hitch a ride with her. Or, you know, like they'll kind of be some of that. We can't guarantee all of that, but there will be some of that support that happens sort of after the groups are organized and after tickets are bought and people are coming in.
Catherine in the chat, I think this is important because I just learned something from Catherine. So for folks who may not know, this area is a big deal in art history, the Black Mountain Retreat area. And Asheville has a lot of artists and amazing food. It's kind of a craft corridor from Penland to Arrowmont. So
yeah, Black Mountain College, like Albers, like all of that is Black Mountain, North Carolina, which no longer exists. But yes, absolutely, Catherine.
Yeah.
Paris
Oh,
of-
Asheville is Paris of the South. Oh, Kelly, I love it. I love it.
It's sometimes called that. I don't know. I think it's generous to say that.
I'm telling all the Canadians that that's what I'm telling them where I'm headed.
I don't know. I'm from the area. I think it's awfully generous, but it's funny.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Any other questions? We are available on email right now. Is kind of we're hoping to get, you know, everyone signed up and organized. So now's the time, you know, we're available on email. We're ready to go. And thank you, workshop instructors, for being here. It was really nice it makes me more excited. So.
Yes, I at least gave you a warning that I might put you on the spot before I actually did, but thank you so much. We're here, we're available. There's time, like, please don't feel like, you know, you have to sign up this minute. Like, I think you take some time to think about it, look at, you know, travel, look at flights, look at travel details. You know, we certainly don't want to pigeonhole you into something, but we are excited. Tickets are going already. So yeah, plans are in place. Oh, and there's going to be swag bags. We didn't even put that on the thing, but I can curate a pretty good swag bag. All of the retreat materials for the workshops, you don't have to bring anything.
Yes, that's a good point. Everything's there for you.
Yeah. So you can just hop on a plane from Denver, wink, wink, and bring your crochet needles and an extra pair of underwear, and you'll be fine.
You're set. Just a carry-on even.
Yep. All right, friends. Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day.
Bye.